Now, all the times I've listened to that intro, the computer, like the robot voice, is saying taco tacos. Um, I don't know how many people I've had ask me, "What is that robot voice saying?" And I'm like, "For real? You don't hear this? Is
Right.
taco tacos." I thought it was obvious, but I guess not. Did you know what it was saying? Like the first time you heard it, Nate?
Yeah, I don't think I had to I don't think I had to second guess it. I was pretty sure.
Tacos. Nate, so how are you, my friend? I know you in Iowa are similar to me here in northern Wisconsin. Like the weather's been stupid cold and super snowy. And as a guy who likes to ride a snowboard, although now I'm so old, if I just say the word snowboard, I feel sore almost immediately. But I still enjoy it. I still like the snow. Plus, I mean, real talk, whether you're, you know what I'm saying, old like me or you're a kid or whatever in the Midwest, don't you want a white Christmas? I mean, that's like something you know what I'm saying?
There is something about snow that does make Christmas feel a little more Christmas-like. I will give you
Does.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm good with like, we'll get a good chunk of snow, maybe 2, 3 days prior to Christmas.
And
And
then
if it's
26,
melted, if it's melted by the 26th,
you're good.
hooray, hooray, it was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, you want it out of there. So how
Yeah.
have you I honestly actually don't know. This isn't like a fake interview. Um have you seen anything? Have you been getting out like hunting? Are you a first season, second season? Because you can only do one in Iowa, right? For shotgun season. I don't really know how it works. It's different here in Wisconsin. It's just one long season.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's 2 separate seasons. You have to pick and choose which season, you do want to hunt. I typically the last few years, I've hunted 2nd season, which is going on right now. Actually, it started, just last weekend and then runs to the end of this weekend, I believe, like the 21st or something like that, whatever that Sunday is.
Yep.
But yeah, I haven't been out. I was planning on going out this weekend, and with the snow and the stuff and the travel that I have to do, it just didn't quite work out.
Yep.
So
You
I'm gonna
gun hunt
go
there
up.
as well.
What's that?
You gun hunt at your buddy Darren's, the same place you bow hunt.
Yep, yep,
That's
yep, yes, yeah. Same place, same terrain. Lots and lots and lots of walking. It's a workout for sure, but it's a lot of fun. So gonna definitely go up with the boys wrestling and all his activities. I'm just gonna get the one day, unfortunately. So I'll just be up
okay.
Saturday to hunt, and hopefully we can put a few down, and
All your eggs in one basket, eh?
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
Can I
Go
do
for the gusto.
just a question?
What's that now?
Well, you always hear when it comes to shotgun hunting specifically, gun like a rifle too. Although I feel like a rifle season is like a surgeon with a scalpel, and shotgun is like a surgeon with a hammer. Like I just don't feel like the one is as precise as the other. But you hear that phrase like if it's brown, it's down. As a black man, does that worry you at all?
No, no. Well, it has honestly, but
Walking out
no.
there looking around like, hey,
Yeah, no, it's
no,
yeah, yeah, that's not quite the way we run the deal. Brown, it's down. We kind of try to be a little selective, and
okay,
we'll let some younger bucks go, and some yearlings or something we'll
yeah,
let run if you can tell what's going on, which hopefully you can. But um the last year and then this year I've been shooting that 350 legend.
hmm
So it's a little bit more precise, and I mean you're right, it is kind of like surgery with a hammer, but you got to be a little
yeah,
you got to be a
yeah,
little strategic with it, you know what I mean? You got to get guys set up that can shoot in the right areas, guys that are pushing or moving through the woods that know where they're going, have an idea of what's
yeah,
going on, how to get
hmm
through the terrain. So
yeah.
there's some strategy to it.
And there
It's not
and
just
there is a practical purpose to it.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
shot shotgun round like a shell like a slug, it tumbles through the air. It doesn't go as far. It doesn't pose as much of a danger. Whereas if you're popping off like a 7 mil mag round, that sucker travels for freaking ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
first, maybe that's not the first, but one of the main rules of like gun safety is know your target and what's beyond it. And like
Mhm.
obviously a rifle, that's a lot. Those consequences are heavier than they are the shotgun. So I'm not making fun of shotgun season. It's just
Yeah,
I
no.
always hear about like that orange army, and I just think of dudes running through the woods.
Just
Cock-
run, yeah. just running and gunning.
Just Remington 870 and anything they see, just letting her eat. But
Hmm.
it is fun though, dude. And the one thing I like about shotgun season, I think Iowa does, Wisconsin does too, but I don't know if as many people like utilize it. But like party hunting, where you
Yeah.
can as a party, and if you have a antlerless tag, but we're together when you shoot it, you can tell me, hey, take that. I'll put my tag on it, like legally. Like that's kind of dope. I think that's really fun because I do think that the camaraderie element of gun season is really dope, dude. Like that's super fun.
That's exactly it. The whole like deer camp,
Hmm.
uh, you know, phrase and the way it actually, goes down, just hanging out,
Yeah.
having a good time, enjoying yourselves, eating some good food, chasing down some deer. It's yeah, that's what it's about for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that really is what it's about. It's awesome. Well, tonight we're excited to have on a guy that we tried to have on before as a guest, my friend Brad. And the cool thing about Brad is he's a bass nut. He's a fish head. He's got it bad like we do. Dude has an absolutely killer rig. He has a beautiful Camus. It's just decked out. We're gonna ask him about that a little bit because if you're like me at all, hearing specificity on other dudes' boats, it's just engaging. It's like looking in a dude's tackle box. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not exactly how you would have yours, or maybe it gives you ideas or whatever. Like it's just cool. I love that kind of stuff. And then the big thing about Brad is that he is a high school bass fishing coach, among other things, and his team has done work. Here, I'll put it on the screen now if you're watching on YouTube. Melrose Mindoro Anglers, if you're on Facebook or Insta. These suckers have gone to work. They've won some titles, and it's just something that when I was a kid, way back when, bass fishing in high school wasn't a thing. And when I look back on it, I'm like, dude, gosh, I wish it was a thing. And then a couple of weeks
Hmm.
ago, we talked to our buddy Easton Fothergill, current Bassmaster Classic champ, and it wasn't like he stressed it. It was just really obvious how much of a role high school bass fishing played for him. It was very much like a dot connector where he grew up with his dad fishing and stuff, but then to get into, I don't know if you want to call it more structured or like he says in Nacho de Big Leagues, to fish with like bigger teams and bigger derbies and whatever. I just think it's awesome. And so I'm really curious to talk to him about that. And yeah, I'm excited for it. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of different aspects to this that we haven't really touched on it much. Like you said, we talked a little bit about it with Easton, but to really kind of get into, bringing these kids into fishing and the
Yeah.
tournament scene, and like you're saying, getting them used to those, bigger scale tournaments. I think it's awesome, and not just that, like, learning about travel and the use of time, I think is huge. Like that's something that I think gets overlooked, having to, schedule the time for travel, the time for practice, the time for a tournament. Obviously the time getting home, you got to put all that stuff into consideration. So it's I like it a lot. I'm
Yeah, I
stoked to
don't
hear
know. I don't know if you
what's going
remember,
on.
Nick, when we had Easton on before we even hit record. I'd asked him like the nerdiest question ever that I kind of actually wish I would have asked him on the podcast, and I said something like, "How do you keep your calendar straight?" You remember that?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And he like showed us his Google calendar, and it's just like 1,000 things going at once. And if you went from like just fishing your local derb and like just remembering in the back of your head, like, oh, I got a tournament next Sunday, to the level of scheduling and when things are allowed to be practiced, when they're not allowed to be practiced, where you have to travel from here to there to get there, and any opens, local stuff, elite series derbies, appearances. If you went from just remembering about a tournament coming up to like what Easton has, I think you'd be so overwhelmed. And like you said, being in that high school environment, the travel stuff, how to run a boat safely. I know they're not driving them, but I mean, learning from like a guy who does,
Yeah.
strategy. I think it's such a cool on ramp to a little bit more serious bass fishing. And so yeah, I'm really excited to bring him in. So yeah, let's stop effing around. We're excited to have him on. We tried to have him on before. We actually had like everything going, and that was before I had fiber optic internet, and I didn't have it plugged in through an Ethernet cable. So like we were trying to talk to him, and it was like, "Hey, how are you? Tell us about," like, and everything was freezing. And I was like, "Dang." We had to like cancel it, but now we got a good solid internet going. I probably shouldn't even say that. I don't want to jinx us, but yeah, with no further ado, we're really excited to bring in high school bass fishing coach legend, our friend Brad. What up, man?
Yeah, I'm still laughing about if it's brown, it's down comments.
Well, the funny thing,
Sorry.
the first time I heard that, so like I don't know how much you know about me, Brad, but like I grew up kind of in the ghetto when I was little. My parents got divorced, my mom had no money, whatever. And so like I was like real used to growing up around black people. And the first time I heard somebody say if it's brown, it's down, and I was like, what the hell? Because like it just sounded weird. But I'm like, oh, you mean deer? But also that's not a good way to hunt either, of course. But
Yeah.
Brad, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, man. Yeah, we're really good. We're glad to
Good,
have you on
good.
the show, dude. Thank you for being flexible. I know, like, I said we tried to have you on before and the internet didn't really cooperate. And yeah, we're just pumped to have you on now. So let's just do this first. If you're okay with it, Brad. Let's just dive into give us a quick walkthrough of your rig. It's really pretty. I like the way you have it set up. Bow to stern. Go as specific as you want, as vague as you want, but tell us about your boat just for a quick sec, because I think people like this stuff.
Yeah, it's a 2023 Camus CX20 with the Merc 250 on it. Bought it brand new last year from dealership in Indiana. It came equipped with an Ultrix, um, Helix 12 up front, one at the dash, the original Mega Live on it, and Mega 360 Atlas power pulls. It was pretty well rigged um, from the dealership when I bought it. It was a brand new boat. Um, I'm not a fan of helixes. Um, I had my previous boat. I had helixes on it, but I also had a Garmin 12-inch Garmin with live scope LVS 34,
Yep.
and I had my last boat. I had a lot of stuff on it, and I was always running into network problems, and there was always something. It seemed like, and I was like, you know what, this boat simplify everything. Like I'm friends with Zach Burge. He always runs just 2 units, two big
Mhm.
units, and
Yep.
it's like, you know what, that just seems so much more simple. So that's what I decided to do. I stripped the whole boat as far as the electronics goes. Took the helixes off, took the Ultrix off, took the Mega 360 off, the Mega Live, sold all it, and I bought two Solix 12s, put in the place of the helixes, put a new Quest on, and I'm running the Mega Live 2 versus the LVS 34.
Totally.
And
Live 2 though versus Mega
took
Live 1 is such a jump. I mean, Mega Live 1 in my opinion was not good. Mega Live 2 is really good.
Yeah, it's not Garmin, but
No,
it does the job just fine for
yeah,
what I need. I can do. I can't see a jerk bait out as far, but I see it far enough.
sure.
Then I also took all the lead acids and AGMs out, and I actually got hooked up with a pretty good discount from Drew Gill for some Epoch lithiums. So I'm
Oh,
running those.
yeah.
And I was skeptic because I had monsters in my last boat, and I'm like, you know what? Drew Gill's running these boats; they're a fraction of the price. I was like, I'll try them, and so
Yep.
far I'm happy as hell with them. I haven't had a single issue.
That's good.
So
Nice, yeah.
for 300 or $400 a battery or whatever versus 900 to 1,000, it was worth the
Yeah.
try. And
Are you running lithium for your cranking battery as well?
no, that I'm not. So I'm
Oh,
just running. I got a standalone battery just for the electronics, and then three 105s, I think, or 115s, I don't know, for the trolling motor. So
okay.
four lithiums and one cranking battery. That's not a
Right on.
lithium.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that boat's bad to the bone. And Nate and I were talking about it before we brought you on. It's like all black, right? Almost all black with like subtle hits of lime green.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two.
So lime green pinstriping, and then the lime green graphics kit on the motor,
Yeah.
and some gray and lime green stitching on the seats.
Yeah. That's too
Oh
clean.
yeah.
Because I think
Heck
you can
yeah.
overdo like that lime green or overdo blue or red or whatever, but yours is just enough where it pops, but it's
Yep.
really dark. Like it just looks so slick, dude. It's a good looking boat, man.
Yeah, I don't like buying things that just draws attention as far as like big bold colors, but when I saw that one, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
No, she's bad,
Yeah.
dude. I like it for
Yeah.
sure. So
Some
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead, Nate.
I was just gonna say sometimes just just subtle enough, just a subtle enough pop is really really something for sure. So in terms of the boat itself, did you choose the CX-20 over the 21, or was that an option, or did you just found that one and that was the deal?
I totaled my last boat, so I just started looking for boats, and so I just started looking at dealerships all over the country, and I found this one in Indiana, and it had that boat. I mean, I wasn't set on a Camus.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
it was either going to be a Camus, a Bass Cat, or something along those lines. Um, and I saw that boat, and I'm like, man, that's a badass boat. And price was it was up there, and then a few days later, I'm just on Marketplace, and then I see a boat. I'm like, that looks just like the one I liked, and it had a different price on it. And so I called on them and made them an offer. They took it. So
Dang.
that's how I ended up with
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I think I remember, but how did you total your last boat?
Me and my nephew were on pool 9 and bottomed out on some big ass like yacht waves. Thought the water was deeper than what it was, but when I got between like the third and fourth wave, and they were big, I was riding parallel with the waves
Okay, sure.
and no water.
Oh no.
So yeah,
Golly.
going about 45. It didn't throw us for a ride or anything, but it just annihilated the
Oof.
lower unit and transom, and it was it was a sickening feeling. That sound that you hit with a fiberglass boat, it haunts me to this day.
Yeah, that's rough, dude.
Yeah, that is.
What was it? What was your old boat again? I know you've told me. I'm sorry, I forgot.
It was a Nitro Z19.
Okay.
So the new
Sure.
one's one hell of an upgrade from that.
Yeah. Man, that's
Yeah.
what is it about the Mississippi? I feel like the Mississippi just claims boats. It's like freighters on Lake Superior. Like it'll just take you down, dude.
It's got my number. I'm good for about 2 or 3 skegs a year. Um,
A year.
never fails.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just rising or fluctuating water levels, and it
Yeah.
silts in spots every year. And then there'll be a random log floating from a rainstorm from last week, and
Yep.
stuff just it gets you. You can be as careful as you want to be. And even the day when I totaled my boat, I was being careful. According to my graph, it was 8 feet of water,
Right. Yeah.
and I was right in the same track as I was that morning, and I was 500 yards from the boat ramp. Shit
Wow.
just happens out there. I don't know. It's uh it's not a place that's gonna keep your nice boat looking really nice very long. Put it
Yeah.
that way. I
No,
should
you're
I should have went
Yeah,
with
that's
I
for
should have went
sure.
with an express aluminum or something.
yeah, something you can be a little rougher on. And pool nine,
Yeah.
golly, pool nine is so dope. Like what a beautiful area of water. Do you know or have you seen our buddy Colin tweeting? He has a purple legend that he ripped his motor smooth off the back with. That was on 9 too, wasn't it?
That
Yeah.
that was nuts.
Yeah. He had a log that you could. We had him on the show and then slowed down the footage from when he hit because he had it on a GoPro, and even in like frame by frame, you could see the Widowmaker that log sticking up. I mean, an inch
Yeah.
out of the part of the wave, and then tonk, and just spins him around, ripped his motor completely off, broke the mounting brackets. I mean, woof, yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
There a guy I know, a friend of mine, Doug Chapin, he fished the NPFL for a little bit, but he had that happen. I think he was on Pickwick,
Mm.
and his motor ended up on his back deck.
Oh gosh, that is
And
so scary.
yeah,
Oh,
that's when
Yeah, that's the
it
worst.
seemed like it was like a summer of motors getting ripped off. I saw it happen on that shit just goes viral on social
right.
media, and
Yeah.
it seems like the leash got really popular after that year.
I bet it did, dude. The
You
other
know?
day, did you not at work, at the boat dealership I work at, we put a leash on what the heck is it? A 90 maybe, like a Merc 90 on a Lund. And I was like, I don't really think you're going to be doing enough to like necessitate this, but like I would never recommend against it. You know what I mean? Like in that Lund with a 90, he'll probably hit 40 if he's really got her up and letting her eat, but like you never know, man. Like it's not a bad idea to keep that thing from hopping up on the back deck. A bunch of years ago, I know you remember this, Nate. There was that photo. Where the heck was it? It was on a river somewhere, where a dude wasn't running a leash, and I think it was on a Bass Cat, if I remember right. And it came up on the back deck, and in the photos, there's blood all over the back deck. Like it hit somebody, and like, ugh. I mean, that's just a big, heavy, loud prop spinning. Like that's no joke.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
remember it came up like over the back deck and landed like right between the seats and like hit the guy's leg and like chewed his leg up and his arm up a little bit. I do remember that.
Yeah, I didn't know all the details. I just remember seeing the photos on the deck, and I was like, that. I mean,
Gosh.
that's like scariest thing you can imagine. Like going down in a boat, that's scary. But the motor coming up on the deck, I mean, jeepers! I don't know. I don't run a leash, and I absolutely should. Do you have one on your rig, Brad?
No, but for next year, I definitely am.
Yeah.
Just due to the fact that I always have a kid in my boat, it seems like, and I would feel terrible if something was to happen and
Right.
a $300 rope would have saved something, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's I've seen, like I said, the last couple years I've seen so much bad stuff happen on this river in low water.
Mhm.
You're stupid not to have one, and I'm pretty stupid for not having one already for what even I went through.
Same.
But
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
stubbornness gets in the way.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, you just kind of get into the mode where like you get your boat rigged the way you want, you get going the way you want, and then you get into the season or you're fishing all the time and it's just sort of out of sight, out of mind. And and something like that, you kind of want to act, I don't know, preemptively, if that's the right word. Like you want to get it on there. But, it's not one of those deals where like, oh, now that my arm got chewed off by my prop, now I'll put one on. Like you really kind of
Yeah.
but well, Brad, let's switch gears if we can. Tell me a little bit about you. What's your, however deep you want to get, or if you want to go quick, I don't know. It's up to you. There's no wrong answer, but give us a little bit of your background. How did you get bit by the fishing bug? How did you start fishing derbies? What's that all look like for you?
I grew up fishing with my grandpa. Grew up in northern Wisconsin, but I grew up making fun of bass fishermen. I'm not gonna lie. It's like you don't eat those things. I don't know why you'd want to fish for them. I didn't start bass fishing until I think it was 2018 when I met my wife. She liked
Oh
to
wow.
fish,
Okay, how'd it go?
and I didn't own a boat or anything, and I had friends that had little tillers or whatever. It let me borrow it. We'd go out fishing. And she just wanted to fish for northerns or anything other than a bass. And and then I started going to where she wanted to go. She's throwing a frog, and I'm like,
Mm.
those blow ups are pretty cool. Not gonna
Eh,
lie.
That looks pretty.
And so then I started fishing for bass and never looked back. I don't think I've targeted anything other than a bass since 2018.
Wow.
So once I started bass fishing, let's see, we met in 2018. Then in 2019, I bought my first, I guess you could call it somewhat bass boat entry level. It was a tracker, um, it was 19 or 19 and a half foot pro team 190 with a 115 on it.
Mhm.
Okay. Yep.
And wish I still had that boat. And yeah, that just took off from there. I only had that boat maybe 4 months, and then I got my Z19.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
a
it
grade, quote unquote. That's a
Quick up.
yeah,
rig.
things escalated quickly.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would
Yes.
genesis of this was your wife?
What's that?
The genesis of this like bass obsession is your wife? Because that's a pretty cool
Yeah,
story.
that's why she can't get mad at me. So it's
Yeah.
her
Oh,
fault.
Alan.
All her fault.
Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Not to point fingers, but I'm pointing a finger.
Yeah. You come back with like 10, 110. She's like, oh my gosh. You're like, well, it's your fault.
Yep, she created it. So it's on her.
Yeah, that's really on her. That's
No,
sweet.
she's very supportive with it. So I'm thankful and lucky there.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you are in
Yeah.
a lacrosse-ish area, correct?
That's correct. About 20 miles outside of La Crosse.
Okay.
So,
Do you
yeah.
fish? Nate, who do we have on that we talked to about this, about lacrosse fishing? Who was that? My brain's not working.
Like recently?
Yeah, somewhat recently. There's that ace in lacrosse, like Southern.
Oh, yeah, Cade. We had Cade on.
Oh yeah, Cade Laufenberg we had on.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that ace. Do you ever go to that ace too?
Like the Ace
The one-
tournaments on Tuesday nighters or whatever.
No, the ace, the actual store, like the Sportsland
Oh
store.
yeah. That's
That's
a
legit
really good
tackle
store.
shop. Yeah, that's such a good tackle shop.
Yeah, we do have a couple good ones in La Crosse, and Ace has, I'd say, it's probably one of them and Island Outdoors are both good, but
Okay.
I go to Island because it's easier to get to. It's Ace is on the south side, but I
Right.
think Ace has a lot bigger selection. When I first when I got into the bass fishing thing, I didn't know where to go, and I remember going into that store for the first time. I was like, "Holy shit! Like, where do you
Yeah.
begin?"
It's good.
Yeah,
Like they have a good
yeah.
spot blend of like Rapala and whatever, but then also like some JDM stuff and Evergreen and Lucky Craft, and it's a good spot, man. Yeah, we brought that up with
Yeah.
Kate. It was like, oh, I love that place. I still go in there all the time, and buddies with the owners and blah blah blah. And yeah, that's a good little spot, man. So do you have like the lacrosse pools and all that stuff pretty dialed?
7 and 8. I go to 9 only a few times a year, but I'd say pool eight's what I'm most familiar with. That or 7.
Okay.
Last summer I spent a lot more time up on 7. It just seems like the lake has produced and showed out over the
Yeah.
last 2 years a little bit, and I know last year for sure it did. I don't know why. I'm not that smart into it, but I like fishing Lake on Alaska the most.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
It's just,
awesome.
yep. Like
Yeah.
Nick Trim, who won the Bass Nation championship on that tournament, and he spent a lot of time on the lake. It just has been producing big ones, and I know people that have caught in, I think the big bass tour that was in Lacrosse. I pretty sure it was caught on 7. I don't know if it was on Lake on Alaska, but I know in like 2 summers ago, somebody caught close to an 8-pounder in a Tuesday or Thursday nighter up on pool 7 somewhere on, I'm assuming the lake.
Oof,
So I
yeah.
don't know, there's getting to be some big fish.
Yeah. That's
The
awesome.
20-pound bags becoming more common out of there.
Yeah. That's so dope, man. That's great.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, because the thing is like when they would talk about going to lacrosse for like the elites or whatever else, it was always like, oh yeah, frogging and swim jigs and blah blah blah. But it's 13, 14 pound bags, and I feel like that's kind of in the past. Like dudes are putting bags
Yeah.
together. I mean,
My
they're
first
on.
my first ever BFL as a boater, I cashed a check with it's either 11.8 or 12.8.
Yeah,
Now, if you don't have 15 plus, you ain't getting a check.
yeah,
Might
yeah,
as well throw them back.
yeah. Just
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's the
tell us
truth.
about that. How did you? I like the story with the wife, and also I don't want to say the name of the lake, but you showed me a picture a while back, a lake in Wisconsin. It's kind of in between you and I, sort of where we live, where you caught what was it, like a 5.5 smallie, or what the heck was that giant that you showed me?
Oh no, that was way up in northern Wisconsin in my hometown, Lake Minnetonka.
Oh,
I
okay.
caught a 5 and a 6-pounder back to back.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to say
It
the
was
name out loud or not, but
No, that's fine. Lake Minnetonka,
Jeez.
that people make fun of bass fishermen up there, so I don't care who knows
okay,
about it.
right
Yeah,
on.
no, we went up there. We went up there for 4th of July, and I told my wife, I was like, I want to catch a 5-pound smallie, and so I can put it on the wall. And it didn't take long to get that, and the next cast was a 6-pounder.
Still your PB?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I didn't target smallies. I didn't target smallies very much this year.
Okay.
So it's just stuck to largemouth.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope. So, so yeah, I like the story of your wife kind of getting you into it, and your boat and all that stuff. But where did I don't know what you want to call it. Where did the switch get flipped to start fishing competitively, and how did that come about?
So I got to know a guy here in the town I live in who fished BFLs, and he talked me into. He's like, "Hey, you should fish as a co-angler once." And I'm like, "Okay." I had maybe 4 rods at the time, and I actually got paired, and I got paired up to fish out of Doug Chapin's boat. That's how I met him.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And I only caught 1 fish that day, and I watched him put a hurting on him and off a wing dam catching smallmouth with a football jig.
Okay, sure.
And so I did that, and then we went into some marina down on pool 10, I believe it was. And then he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go skip docks." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I can do that." Yeah, I can't do that. I couldn't at the time. And he could flip or skip that jig under a dock more accurate than I could throw a rock. And he was
Yeah.
just
So cool.
cranking them out of there one after another after another. I'm like, gosh dang, like
Yeah.
that looks so cool watching him do it. So that was my first ever tournament, and I was like, it was awesome watching him do it. I didn't care if I was catching anything or not. I was just learning a ton from him. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to do this, but not from the back of the boat. So that's when I bought my Z19. Was I think 2 weeks after that tournament, and I did my first BFL 2 days after I got it and cashed
Oh
a
my
check.
gosh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's crazy. Okay,
That's awesome. That's so funny.
yeah,
seriously, that's like
yeah.
finding a ball on the ground and being like, I'm gonna try out for the Cubs. I mean, like you're swinging the BFLs right out of the gates. That's pretty heavy. Maybe, I mean, did you realize how big of a deal that was, or were you kind of ignorant to it, which is maybe good?
No, I had no idea. I didn't know crap
Yeah.
about the whole MLF Bassmaster leads.
Wow.
I honestly didn't. I just liked the fishing aspect of it. And I'll be
Yeah.
honest, I have very successful anglers out of my boat. I'd say more than half the time I get outfished by my co-anglers.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I've had I've had I think 3 co-anglers take first out of my boat.
wow.
I've been lucky, been paired up with some guys who were just hammers from the
Yeah.
back of the boat, and I still don't know everything. I haven't been doing it a long time. Most of these guys down here have been bass fishing for their whole lives. And I
Mhm.
still learn every time I go out, it seems like. And if I get a chance to fish with a veteran, I take them up on it.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
also really neat. I think what you just said, you totally keyed in on. I know Nate's done some like opens and stuff out of the back of the boat. Obviously, I've fished back of the boat, not in opens, but in plenty of tournaments. And I think having the self awareness maybe and like the humility that if somebody else is just putting a hurt on them, or like you were saying, homeboy was skipping a jig, that's not bass fishing 101. That's bass fishing 301, or that's the more advanced class. And the fact that you had the intelligence to like kind of watch and absorb and not just try and fish but to learn, I think that's where co-anglers could really step their game up, is just by learning from the whoever they're fishing with.
Yeah, and that's what I tell all these kids on my team. And I had a couple kids last year fish as co-anglers in events that weren't youth events. I'm like, that is the best way to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to, I mean, you can learn some things from me, but man, I'd say majority of the bass fishing population knows more than I do, and it's good to learn from more than just one guy.
Totally.
Yeah, and sometimes the tournaments sucked. We fished the TBF, the no, was it Wisconsin Bass Federation's national championship through the TBF. It was on the Madison chain.
Oh, sure.
Terrible time of year, terrible weather. It was a cold front. I mean, the fishing sucked. And I actually fished it as a co because they had more boaters than co-anglers.
Oh,
And
wow.
part of their rules were every boater needed a co-angler. So I was asked, hey, you want to fish this? Ain't gonna cost you anything. You aren't part of the tournament. You're only part of the big bass pot. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not?
And we only caught one fish that day, and I caught it on the last cast. My boater didn't even catch a fish. And so you have tournaments like that, but
Golly.
you still learn. You still learn.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
like he
Yeah.
got paired up with a popular YouTuber that fishes that Hella Bass is his name on YouTube. I don't know
Yeah.
what is Rich
Yeah.
Lindgren
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
he got paired up with him, so he was thrilled about it. He didn't care if he caught fish or not. So
Yeah. Rich is
it's a
awesome.
cool opportunity for those kids to get in any tournament they can as a co-angler, in my opinion.
Totally. I remember hearing a story one time where when Ben Milliken was fishing an open, he had somebody come in as a co and they didn't bring any rods. And they got on the boat and he was like, "You're not fishing?" And they're like, "I'm literally going to watch you and take notes." And Milliken said he was like so impressed by that, because then he doesn't have to really worry about trying to make sure they get fished, don't have to worry about getting casted over or whatever. And just to be humble enough to sit there and like learn, like that's pretty dope. Nate, who did you I know we're interviewing Brad here, Nate, but who did you learn from the most, you think, from your opens? I know it wasn't Luke Clausen, but who did you have a good time with?
Yeah. Honestly, I probably learned the most from it's probably Billy McCagran. I fished with him
Yeah.
day one on the Red River in Shreveport down in Bossier City, Louisiana. And just like Louisiana, the way he just controlled the boat through some of the stump fields and ran and like used his maps. And then when the fishing got we got into this big, huge backwater with all these cut down stumps and trees, and it was just like stuff I've never seen before, and he's fishing and just starts just whaling fish. He's throwing it's like a all black lizard with a chartreuse tail, and he's just catching fish. So I'm like, man, what am I? Let me. I got a Cinco. I'll try to sling that around. And he's like, it's not so much the bait, but it's the presentation. He said you have too heavy of a weight on, and he was throwing like a 16th ounce, 8th or 16th ounce bullet weight, pretty much almost weightless. Just making as far cast as he could, just dragging it. And I switched to a weightless Cinco and just started whacking fish. And it was just like little stuff like that. It was crazy. He was the man. It was a lot of fun. I've
heard you tell that story. Really cool.
Yeah, I think I still like. He gave me a couple jigs at like he had a buddy custom tie for him, and like they're custom painted. I still have that was one of the best times that I've had.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and I mean, I just think like Brad was saying, just kind of observe, learn, mentally, kind of write it down. Yeah, that's sweet. So, you kind of
also
go ahead.
That was also the same tournament, the same partner where he's like, do you know how to back down a boat? And I had that Jason for like 6 months, 6 months or whatever it was. And he's like, do you know how to back down a boat? And I'm like, yeah. And he hands me the keys to his, F-250, and he's got his Bass Cat Cougar, and that Shreveport Bossier City ramp has like 6 lanes, and everybody's just swinging in and out. It was the most nervous I've been in my entire life. I nailed it.
You just slam on the brakes, up on the cement, boat comes off.
It just slides him all the way to the water.
Billy. Yeah, but you can't say no. You definitely can't say no.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
I kind of got a similar story to that, backing down a boat. That same year when I bought my Nitro, MLF had their what do you call it? Their Super Tournament Championship, the pro circuit at the time. I don't know if it was Tackle Warehouse at that time or whatever, but they had a lot of the Bass Pro Tour guys and the the pro level guys there. And I signed up as a marshal, and I got paired up with Boyd Duckett for the first day.
Oh, whoa.
I was like,
wow.
Okay. I knew a little bit who Boyd Duckett was. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's a big deal. Yeah. And so I met him at Wildcat Boat Landing, and he's like, hey, you want to back my boat down? I'm like, oh, sure. He's big, beautiful 1-ton dually. And so I backed his boat down, and then Mark Daniels Jr., Adrian Avina showed up, Matt Lee, Jordan Lee, Randy Howell, and next thing I know, I'm backing all these guys' boats down. I'm like, what these guys don't know me. That was nerve-wracking, and that's a small boat landing. You tried to park all those trucks, and somehow got it done.
That's pretty cool, though. Yeah, you were like the valet. You were the boat valet that day.
I think that's what they thought I was.
Oh, right?
Seriously?
Yeah. They were giving you like dollar tips. Like, all right,
they tip for shit.
You left the boat ramp empty. I don't know if I've ever shared this story. I cannot remember where this was. Somewhere in Texas. I was fishing a derby, and this is when I was just kind of getting new to it. And same deal. Like my co-angler, he was the boater, I was the co. He had me back down his boat, and it was a Ranger of some sort, and it was all decked out and whatever. And this is, what lake was it? I cannot remember the life of me, but there's like 50 lanes to this boat ramp, and it's super far from like where you come out of the parking lot onto the actual like lanes to back down. It feels like it's like a mile. It's super, super far. And there's like so many next to each other, and you just kind of go in order. You kind of pull out where there's an open one, and you back down, kind of pull out and then go, whatever. And, we back down, and the lane I end up backing down next to, there's a big, like a set of maybe like 3 or 4, like really tall, big orange traffic cones blocking off one of the lanes. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know why, but they're like, and there's attendants like helping with the ramp or whatever. And they're like, just don't back down that orange cone one. I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I back down next to it. And as I look over, there is a S10 with a boat still attached on the trailer, like 6 feet down in the water. Like, I don't know what happened, but like underwater, the entire thing, boat, trailer, truck, all the way underwater. And I asked the attendant, I'm like, what the heck happened? He goes, I have no idea. It's been here for like a week. I'm like, what? Why has it been here? Left it in the, why would you leave a boat and truck like underwater for a week? Like, get a wrecker out here and pull that thing out of there. But yeah, strange things happen at the boat ramp. I'll just say that, I guess. I've offered to help. I've offered to help so many people. There's a lake right around here called Lake Wissota. And the launch at Little Wissota, people's IQs drop by about 90 whenever they go to launch or retrailer. I don't know why. And I'm not that dude to be a total butt, but I've helped quite a few people where you see them come down the ramp like this, like just S-ing all the way down like a snake. And I'm like, dude, stop cranking it over, man. Or I'll just walk up and be like, hey, do you want some help? Or you'll see people pull in the wrong way. Like they'll pull in face first, like towards the ramp, and then try to back around like 3 point. I mean, people's IQs just go out the window when they're trying to launch boats. So at least you guys did well with some pros. So you got that going for you.
Got lucky.
I will say this: bass fishermen are probably the best at launching a boat.
Absolutely.
People can hate on bass fishermen all they want, but we don't jack up the boat ramps. Nope.
No, and we're quick. We're usually pretty surgical. And I mean, Nate and I sort of like, we don't say anything, but like when we're fishing a derby together and like one of us grabs, whoever's boat it is, the other one grabs the truck, it's like, and we're out of there. It's like this timer in our heads, like that was quick. Because you don't want to be that dude who's taking a month to get out. But so let's transition, Brad. You talked about some of the students that you're friends with and whatever that you kind of coached along the way, fishing in tournaments. Tell us about high school bass fishing. How did you get involved in that? How did you become a coach? Like, give me the inside scoop on that, because it's just such a cool thing that I don't know anything about, because I'm like, I'm old and they didn't have it when I was in high school. I wish they would have. But how'd you get into all that?
So that guy that convinced me to fish a BFL out of or as a co-angler, he's the one who started the fishing team. I mean, it was a fishing team, but not a legit organization at the time, I should say. He had a few kids fishing it, and they had a tournament coming up in Marinette. And he's like, hey, I got 2 kids that are wanting to fish it. And I only had my Pro Team 190 tracker at the time. And he's like, you interested in boating for these kids? And I'm like, boy, I don't know, man. I haven't even done a tournament yet of my own. And he's like, man, they'd appreciate it. And I didn't even know the kids at the time. I knew his son who was fishing on his boat. And he talked me into it. I was like, yeah, sure. What the heck? What do I got to lose? So we went up there, and it was the biggest body of water. I mean, it's essentially straight across from Sturgeon Bay. And I had a blast doing it. It was just a 1-day tournament. The kids did pretty good out of my boat. They caught a limit. That's all I could ask for. I was thrilled about it.
Perfect.
And after that, he's like, hey, you want to do this some more? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then when I got my Z19, did some more tournaments, and eventually he got busy with work, and he's like, well, fishing team's yours. Okay.
All right.
Sure. Sounds good. And lucky enough, I got to know a good amount of people in this little town I live in, and started. I started a 501c3, so we're actually a nonprofit organization, so we can actually fundraise money, take sponsorships and whatnot. And here in the last 3 years, it just took off. We got some amazing local businesses and even bigger businesses that support us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it without any of them. And now, I mean, if I had open sign up for this thing, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd have 30, 40 more kids wanting to do it. And there's only so many boats.
Wow.
So I still haven't figured out what's the best way who gets to do it and who doesn't. I kind of just get word of mouth of kids that are in elementary, middle school that have been fishing and doing it on their own, that have been putting the work in to me, and I feel they deserve it. Whether that's the right thing to do, I don't know, but I try to do my best, and been lucky so far. And I cap it right now at about 10 kids. We had one tournament last year where we actually had 5 boats that were able to go, so all of us could go between middle school and our high school kids. But otherwise, not every tournament has a junior division, which is middle school. So we usually have 3 high school boats in every one of them. So it took off. Like I said, we will 2 years in a row won the Wisconsin State Championship through Wisconsin Bass Federation, which is through TBF/MLF. They kind of partner up. So we qualified for nationals now 2 years in a row. We went to Lake Hartwell 2 years ago, and then this year coming up, we are going to Lake Cumberland down in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think that's in June. Then we also won one of our boats won Angler of the Year through the Wisconsin Bass Federation through their circuit that they started. So yeah, we actually double qualified for nationals by winning the state championship tournament and Angler of the Year.
That's great. Cool. Gee, that's dope. Wow. That's
Yep.
I have so many questions for you. Nate, you have questions? Hit him with some questions before I jump in and ask 5,000.
I'm just curious, the kids that have won the last couple times or whatever, like the national championship. How old are they? They like young high school or seniors? Or?
Nope. The first state championship that we won 2 years ago, at that time, that was out of my boat, and at that time they were sophomores. And then the kids that won it this last summer, they are seniors this year.
Okay.
So this summer is they'll be able to fish nationals and the state championship, but the team circuit to qualify, that points and stuff, qualify for nationals for 2027. Seniors won't be able to do that because they'll already be graduated when the tournament comes. So I got a wave of middle schoolers coming in to replace, because I had quite a few seniors in high school this year.
Wow. Okay. I don't even know where to start, Brad. I legitimately have like 30 questions in my head. And I think some of it is because I have my own kids that are in high school. And again, I wish this was a thing when I was around. So like, I don't even know where to start, but I guess I'll just ask this one first. The role of a boater, like the adult who's driving the actual rig, what does that look like? And is it like regulated? Like obviously they can't fish, but can they say like, hey, you should throw a lipless here or throw a green pumpkin? What can they give tips and stuff, or do they have to be quiet? Do they pick the spots? Do the kids pick the spots? How does all that work?
So I encourage all the kids, if they can, to go. Say if we have, like last year, we had a tournament on a lake down by Lake Geneva. I forgot what the name of it was. Anyways, and most of these kids have their licenses. They all have their own boats, not bass boats, but they have little boats. And
sure.
So a lot of them, they do go put in the work themselves and go pre-fish. I also go pre-fish. But come tournament time, collectively as a team, me and the other boats, we like, hey, we did good here. We did good here, throwing this, throwing that. And, collectively as a team, we try to come up with a game plan. Like, all right, here's what I think we should do. We're going to start down here. You guys start here doing this and see how it goes. But no, as a boater, you can basically do anything except fish. You can give them all the advice you want. The Wisconsin Bass Nation, they had a little bit more strict rules. You couldn't net. I don't think you could tie lures. You could call for them, but most of them you can do everything but make a cast.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, I was
my kids on my team. My kids on my team, though, we try to let them do as much stuff as possible. Like in my boat, they're running the trolling motor. I ain't doing that crap anymore.
Yeah. But do you just sit there, your shotgun and kind of watch and coach, or what? I mean,
yeah, it depends. If it's a fun like a dock deal, like when we're on Lake Wisconsin last year, docks were awesome. So I ran the trolling motor with my remote quite a bit for that, trying to get the boat in good position so they could skip their worms or whatever up underneath the docks. And we were piss pounding them on day 2 of that tournament. So I stayed pretty busy that day, but otherwise, I got my phone on and I'm usually watching fishing of some kind. There's usually an event going on. Talk shit with the kids. I get to live my immaturity and youth through them. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, that would suit me well, obviously. Also, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, we have a blast. We make sure it's fun.
Yeah. Do you have practice? I mean, I know you can practice for a tournament, but I mean, you guys like sit around and say like, yo, this is how you skip. This is how you tie in FG. This is how you make sure your line doesn't have nicks in it. Like the basic like fishing stuff, how to change trebles on a I remember, who the heck was it? What's that one dude? What's his last name? I can't remember. Him and Mike Iaconelli have beef all the time. Gosh, dog it. Anyway, but yeah, I watched a video of him like speed changing treble hooks on a crankbait, and he did it in like literally 2 treble hooks on a square bill in like 40 seconds. Do you guys do bass fishy type practice stuff or not really?
Not really. You know, thank God for YouTube. I mean, come fishing season, I mean, these kids that they eat, sleep, and breathe fishing. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a different world
Wow.
compared to when I was their age, and they learn so much from watching stuff. And whenever we go on the boat, I mean, I always, me and the other guy that helps me with the team. I mean, I don't think we ever go out fishing alone. Hardly. We always have a kid with us, and
that's good.
that's when they ask questions and we try to explain and show them the different knots. I mean, shit, I don't know. I still can't tie an FG knot. Those kids can tie them, but I can't. I gave up on it.
That's
And,
sweet.
but yeah, they, like I said, I'm fortunate. They know a lot more than I did at their age, and just because of the internet. And then they go
Yep.
out in their garages and learn. And you know, they still, some of those kids, there's the Black River right here in Melrose. I mean, they're out there in their flat bottom duck boats. They're trying to fish wherever they can. They don't care what they catch.
Yeah,
Yeah. So they're, when the ice is off, they're ready to fish. That's
Heck
just
man.
yeah.
how they just learn by doing whatever. And, you know, I took, there's a kid that'll be coming up on the team here in a couple years. I think he's in 6th grade. So last year I took him out for a day. I took a day off of work. So he was just getting out of 5th grade. And he's got 2 older brothers that are on the team, and
Mm.
his name's Cullen. And I'm like, hey, buddy, it's like, you need some help, let me know. He went the whole day. I bet he caught a dozen smallmouth and largemouth that day. I didn't have to help him with one thing. Didn't have
Wow.
to take a fish off. I didn't have to rig up a Texas rig. I didn't have to do nothing. I kept
Wow.
asking him, and he said, nope, I got it. And I was like,
That's awesome.
the kids can learn anything they want. They just got to apply themselves to it. And we don't believe in just, hey kids, we're going to a tournament. Here's a fancy boat. Here's a hotel. You're going to fish it. No, they got to do their part to earn their spot.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. Man, that's
Have,
cool.
have you ever had to cut a kid from the team?
no.
No.
It's
Good.
it's a small town, so we
Right.
know everybody knows everybody. You know who's into the outdoors, hunting, fishing stuff. And when a
Sure.
kid says they want to do it, they're committed.
Yeah.
So
Nate,
we don't.
when you just said that, it made me think of Remember the Titans so bad when Denzel
Right. Yeah.
never cut a player who comes to play for me, but when you put on that uniform, that Titans uniform, perfection, gentlemen. Anyway, I could quote that movie front to back for sure. The other thing I was going to ask you about is with, like you said, having more students than what you maybe have boats for. Do you rotate, or do you just keep the team small? Or like, is there a limit? Like if you went to a tournament, let's say, and I don't know, Hayward, and all the local high schools send, can one high school send 12 boats, or is there like a limit for per team, or how does that look?
It's unlimited. You can bring as many boats as you want. I mean, shit, there
Really?
was some tournaments last year where my team was half the field. Yeah, they take as many boats as you can get. So that's the thing. They, like I said, Wisconsin Bass Federation started a circuit. So you want to keep the two kids together for that circuit so they can accumulate their points for AOY. So it's just no different than a team series, realistically, just for high school.
Yeah. Okay.
So I try to keep the same. We try to keep the same 2 kids with the same boater so they can get, you know, any kind of team thing. You know, the more you're together, the more you can read what they need or what they want to do, and it just works out better that way. And we try to pair the kids up with personalities that mesh, because kids are. I mean, one day they're friends, the next day they hate each other.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we've been lucky. Majority of my fishing team they're wrestlers, so they're beating the shit out of each other at the end of the day, anyways. So yeah. We've been lucky. Haven't had any issues. Kids are very polite, respectful, and appreciative, and that's all I can ask for.
Yeah.
Heck
Well,
yeah.
I didn't say it yet, but congrats on the success so far with that team. That's awesome, man. Like that's a pretty cool thing to. I think it'd be a really cool thing to be in your position where you're not the one putting the fish in the boat, but you're kind of the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, helping pull the strings, and to see them succeed. That's gotta be pretty fulfilling, huh?
Yeah, it is. And the part that's kind of funny is when you know what they want to do isn't going to work.
Ooh.
Hey, we want to go. Yeah, like, hey, we want to go rip the bank and fish fast. And it's like, from my practice, we got to go 12 feet to the weed edge and vertical drag with a stupid drop shot.
Yeah.
Not going to be fun.
Yeah.
And they go through their spiel, and I'm like, all right, we're going to go out here and try it. And then all of a sudden they start jacking them, and they're like, okay, well, this ain't a fun technique, but when you're catching them a lot, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Or when I say, I think it's high, middle of the day, hot, like, we got to go skip some docks, fellas. And you can just see it on their face, like, oh no. And then they'll catch a big limit, and now they're in their lead, and it gives them motivation to want to learn all these techniques and be good at everything.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's really good. When is Nate, if you want to throw a question here, you jump in, but when is like the quote unquote fishing season for a high school bass team?
Usually in May, I believe. Okay. They didn't come out with Wisconsin Bass Nation didn't come out with their state championship tournament, but the Bass Federation has their dates, and I believe it starts in May.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to Sturgeon Bay, so we're going to Lake Puckaway, and I think we are going up to Pool 4 for a tournament. Buffalo Lake, and I think the Madison chain again. And
okay.
So I don't know. They invited me to come to a meeting here coming up in February to discuss possible different lakes and whatnot and get my opinion. Sure. They're trying to hold they usually run our tournaments in tandem with their adult series. And they're wanting to go away from that. So have the youth on their own. So it always sucks because we got put on a small lake, and they take off first and everything you found. Then you get there and there's an adult on. It's like, come on. They're like, this ain't fun for nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. It
is.
You get a lot of seat time. What's the go-to boat snack while you're sitting in the seat there?
Yeah.
Those Dots pretzels?
Oh yeah.
The green bag, the garlic parmesan or whatever.
Parm.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, dude, I'll put a hurt on those, and it shows too, unfortunately.
Those are very good. They those are smelly and tasty.
But then the kid on the team's grandpa, he drives some Amish people around, and they always give them fresh strawberries. Oh yeah. So we eat a shit ton of strawberries.
That's hard to beat.
Nice.
Yeah. Strawberries that beat. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Do you have you had any girls on your team?
No, but my daughter, she's gonna be a freshman here she's in 8th grade right now. Mm-hmm. She fishes, but she ain't gung-ho about it. But if she had a friend that wants to fish, then she'd be all about it. And she does have a couple friends that have expressed interest in wanting to do it, and I really hope they do.
I think that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
I've only seen, I think, 2 boats with girls in them, and there was both those were at nationals, and I just, I don't have any sons. I'm in a house full of girls.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah. So if she got into it with one of her friends, I'd be thrilled about it.
Yeah, I feel like bass fishing is sort of a equalizer almost. Sorry, I just hit my little stand with my laptop on it. I feel like bass fishing is kind of an equalizer. I don't know that there's much of a benefit to a male fishing versus a female fishing, and in terms of just actual physical abilities, you know what I'm saying? There's not really like this big like I can skip better than her. Like probably not.
Yeah, it's. When the elites were here in lacrosse this last year, I saw that they're trying to empower women some more with it. There was Christine Fisher and some of the other popular female fishermen. They put on, I don't know what it was, like a question and answer session clinic thing for girls, and I was like that was really cool. I don't know what kind of turnout they got, but it was talked about and advertised everywhere. So I think that's really cool. I never understood why you don't see more girls doing it. I mean, I know plenty of girls who hunt and everything else. I don't know if it's a intimidation thing or they just like, that just for men. But like you said, I don't think men have an advantage over women at all. I mean, maybe the driving.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and
Not to sound sexist or whatever, but
yeah, but I think there's not that much of a difference. I will say though, I'm not trying to be negative, right? Like our shtick here at Tackling Tacos is positivity is worth the effort. I truly believe that to my core. But let me get negative for a second. Not really, but so Bassmaster, I just felt like it was so GD on the nose to do their female thing. They call it Bassmaster. I'm like, dude,
yeah.
come on, you could have come up with something so much better than that. I don't know what, but Bassmast her, like Jeepers criminy, like you, I don't know. I thought that was just so corny. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with, and I don't even think there's an advantage for men over women in bass fishing. But I thought that name was so flipping corny. But yeah, seems I do like the initiative though. I like the push for it. Yeah, I think that's really rad. What was another question I was going to ask you? Gosh, dog it, I had one specific one. Oh, have you had any of your guys from your squads go on to college angling at all?
Not yet. I would love to see it happen.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. We did. The first year I started, the guy that originally started the team, his son went down to Drury and he fished for a year.
Okay.
But I don't. He took a different path. It just wasn't for him, and he's doing well now. But he tried. Um, but yeah, I mean, most of my kids on our team, they're not 4-year college guys. They're wanting to get into the trades kind of thing, go to the tech school and just start working so they can make money to buy their own boat.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Nothing wrong with
every
that.
kid on my team works full time in the summer, whether they're doing youth apprenticeships to be an electrician or they're covered in concrete head to toe. One of our sponsors, ACT Concrete, that they're our main sponsor, and they hire high school kids in the summer. So
Cool.
they
That's
work
awesome,
their
yeah.
asses off. They work their asses
Yeah.
off. So that they know how to work, and then they wrestle on top of it, which is a very disciplined sport.
Yeah.
They're not lazy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's really cool.
A lot
Where did Easton go, Nate? Was it Montevallo or whatever in Alabama?
Yeah, Montebello, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
there's schools like that. Like, it's not a big school, but the cool thing is, I mean, it's not like a teeny school, but it's not, it's not University of Texas at Austin or 60,000 students or whatever. But the fact that they're actually offering bass fishing college scholarships, that's wild.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that's
That's
cool.
when you go down to high school nationals for MLF that we go to, seeing the prizes that they can win, I mean, it's unreal. You're talking $100,000 scholarships and this and that,
Uh,
like plus to get an
They
education on top of it.
mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
I know I'd have been trying to do something like that if I knew it was available when I was a kid.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah,
just it's cool.
I don't know how the college fishing works. I don't know if they supply boats. That's one thing I would like to know.
Yeah, yeah. I know when Easton was fishing college, didn't he say, Nate, that it's one man derbs, right? Or is it still teams?
It's still a team deal for the most part,
Okay.
unless you get into like that classic bracket type of deal, then they split off
Oh,
into one or whatever.
maybe that's what.
Um, yeah, but I want to say they fish out of their own boats. I want to say I don't know if I think the schools can supply boats, but I don't think they all do. What was that kid? Was it last year or 2 years ago that fish out of that super old Ranger and like won the
Oh,
bracket?
yep. Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
was that kid's
What
name?
name? Yeah, he the night before when he had his live scope taken off his boat because he was distracted.
Yeah,
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 that's the coolest. But I also think though that, like, yeah, what was that kid's name? Gosh, dog it. Yeah, we wanted to have him on the show. Anywho, wasn't Easton though? And again, I keep on going to him because we just had him on and it's fresh in my brain. So,
hmm
didn't he have like they had a wrapped like Montevallo State boat, right? I mean, I suppose
yeah, he did.
like they
yeah. It was
are a little more well equipped or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. I would
Easton
definitely assume.
Fothergill. Easton Fothergill to me, he is like the perfect role model for the kids wanting to
Yeah,
pursue fishing. I don't know how much better of a person you could watch. I mean, he came up through the whole ranks and he's a good dude. It seems like I don't know him personally, but You don't hear anything bad about the guy.
No, he's so humble, man. Like he's just such a chill cat. I was actually just talking to him today. I got a new vehicle. I got a Toyota 4Runner. It's pretty dope. It's kind of built and lifted a little bit, all blacked out, whatever. Anyway, and I want to thank you. And I wanted to they make different like rod, like those rod tubes you can put on like your roof rack on top, and so I just asked him like, hey, what are those ones? Cause I saw some videos on his Tundra. Like, what are those rod racks you have on top of yours? And he's like, well, actually mine were custom fabbed. But I'm getting rod coffins, which you can put the reels in as well. He's like, so if you want these, he's like, I'll make you a heck of a deal on them or something. Like he's a very normal human being. I don't think either he's just that genuine or it hasn't actually hit him that like, holy Moses, like I just Super Bowl
he's big time.
Where the world record weight and I'm like 11 years old, like it just either it hasn't hit him or he's actually that humble. You know what I mean? He's just a really authentic dude.
And, I think you'll find, I mean, I got, like I said, I got to ride in the boat with Big Duckett. I got to know Zach Burge. I got to know Scott Martin and Carl Jacobson in the last few years. As much as you want to, as much of the negative you hear about almost all of those guys, they're all just normal people for the most part. All those guys have been super good to me. And,
cool.
That bass fishing's pretty small compared to most sports. And I've been lucky. I haven't met one I should say that. I've crossed paths with one, but the ones that I know and still talk to are good dudes.
Yeah,
and
totally.
They stay humble.
Yeah, I think it was Ike who said it best, and Ike is like one of those characters who's pretty polarizing in the fishing or any space because you can love him or hate him, and I see it on both sides. I can see why people would hate him. I can see why people love him. I think he's awesome. I think he's he's a needed character in the fishing space, like the attention, the craziness, but he's also insanely altruistic and like the Ike Foundation and cares about kids getting in the sport. And, I don't know. I like him. I think he's awesome. He's super honest. He's super real about stuff. Doesn't care if you care about what he's saying. Like, I think he's rare. Yeah. But I think
he says it how it is.
Yeah, he says what he thinks it is, and if you don't agree, that's all right. He doesn't hate you for it, but that's just where he's at, and I really respect that. But he said, I'm 99% sure it was Ike on a podcast one time said, like you just said, Brad, like the fishing space is small, so people can't afford to go burning down bridges because you don't know if you proverbially piss all over Abu Garcia that next week when you go to talk to, I don't know, Luz is like, oh, well, the Abu Garcia rep now works for us. And he said, absolutely not. Like it's just, there's too many like tie-ins all over. You can't go being a dick to people. Cause I mean, in general, I truly believe you reap what you sow. Like I actually believe in that. But especially in the fishing space, it just doesn't pay off to be a turd, man. It doesn't work out. Like Nate fished with, you don't have to say who it is if you don't want it. We already said his name once, but, and when he was fishing a open and the dude running the boat was an absolute penis. Like Nate got snagged up and like, dude wouldn't like slow down to let him try and get it out. Just they assumed he would just cut it off and was not helpful. Didn't tell him what he's throwing. I mean, just, like why, I don't know. Sometimes I think it takes more energy and like more effort to be a butthole, like why do that? Just be chill, be human, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, kind of getting off the rails. I'm just thinking out loud now.
No, the people that do good things, I eventually believe it pays off at some point.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know. I know Cade Laufenberg. I've talked to him a few times, but do I know him? No, like I don't. But I know some guys that are at local sticks at his level that the same thing. They're not fun guys to fish with if you're a co-angler out of their boat. And I was told, people like Cade. I've heard from one guy said, hey, Cade's like, hey, let me get my limit, what I think I can get, and then we'll get you yours.
Yeah.
There's some, which I think is awesome. And
absolutely.
Then I know guys that will position their boats and just be like, you're totally cocksuckered the whole day.
Yeah.
And I just don't know why.
The whole bogus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people out there like that, but.
Yeah, there are. Tyler Bass Fishing HQ just put out a video last week or something on YouTube, and it was, did you see this one, Nate? I'm not usually
I did watch it. Yeah.
Video of somebody just talking, but the story was actually really engaging about this guy that he fished with. Was it an open or what was it that he's fishing from, Nate? It was a big level tournament, but he was a
I'm pretty sure it was an open.
Yeah, and the guy who was the pro, he never named him, but you can find his name pretty easy. I can't remember now though, but he got booted out a couple years later for doing laps around a guy's boat and effing him over, and they kicked him out of the elites. I mean, guy was just a douche nozzle. But they got up on this section, and the dude never spoke anything to Tyler, never told him what to throw, what not to throw, whatever. And Tyler like didn't cross over lines, didn't cast over like by the front of the boat. But when they were positioned on this bush, he cast up in there and caught a 4 or something. Or no, he broke off. He broke what it was, and then the guy was like, "Oh, well, there's one less female of my 5 that I had marked." And was just a total dick to him about it, but never said like, "Hey, I have a female marked in here, so like, let me try and get in there first." Never said anything. And then Tyler, he's a fisherman trying to fish, and the guy was a total jerk about it. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Ike said, the space is too small to do that kind of stuff, man. Now you look at Tyler, who's like wildly successful in the outdoor space. Everybody knows him. He makes a living making fishing videos, and that mother effer flamed out long ago. So it just, it only goes one direction. It comes back around and bites you when you act like that. One last question about high school fishing, Brad, if I can.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't know, and if that's okay, that's all right. How do you go about starting a club? Like if you said, "Hey, my daughter is in high school, their school doesn't have a team," how do you start one?
Well, so like our team, it's not through the school at all. We just go with our town name. So like completely not affiliated through the school whatsoever.
Sure.
So if I had a son that's lived in an area, he said, "Hey, me and a buddy want to go fish a tournament." You're like, okay. You just sign up and say what town you're from or whatever. You call yourself a name and so be it. And then you get more kids that want to do it and more kids. Well, then it starts getting a little expensive. That's when you got to start raising money, but you got to do it the right legal way.
Sure.
And that's when you just gotta make a 501c3, create an organization, a nonprofit where you can do it the right way and figure out, okay, we've got this many kids that want to do it. How many friends do I have that'd be willing to help with boats? And that's the part you got to be careful with. You can't take on more kids than you have boats. I learned that real quick. You might some kids might feel let down or whatever, but I think you explain to them their understanding. But yeah, it's not that hard. And I don't understand why more people don't do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. It's, for the tax part of it at the end of the year, it's super simple. Like I said, I'm an electrician, and if I can do it myself, anybody can. So it's just get a group of kids, get some boats, and find a series or a tournament. You don't got to do the whole series. You can jump in one tournament, just pay your membership fees for MLF or Bassmaster or anything, and that's how you get started. Once a kid will do one tournament, they're going to want to do all of them. That's the cool thing about it. I've never seen a kid go to a tournament and not have the time of his life. They instantly want to do more, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, that's really good. So then you like, as far as the pragmatic elements, so like if you have, what did you say it was, ACT cement or
ACT Concrete's our main sponsor. We got quite a few sponsors: H2O Well Drilling, Zitzner Auto Detail, Bradsheim Carpentry. We got a bunch of sponsors. We got some big ones and then some small ones, and those go on our jerseys, go on our social media. You see pictures of our jerseys. They're pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. We always get compliments on how cool our jerseys look.
Yeah,
if you suck, if you don't do good at a tournament, at least you look good doing it. Yeah. So, and I am lucky to have an employer that does some cool things for nonprofits and whatnot to help us out. And it's it's not cheap. I'm not gonna lie. Without the sponsors and stuff, it wouldn't be possible. I mean, when you use five boats and 10 kids to a tournament, plus the adults, the hotels, the gas and stuff, it's an expensive weekend.
Yeah. So your sponsors are helping you connect those financial dots for tournament buy-in and travel. And okay. I figured so.
And the nice thing about the high school tournaments, I mean, if there's an entry fee, I think the Wisconsin Bass Nation has an entry fee, but the Bass Federation and MLF has no entry fee. You just got to have a membership.
Really?
So
Hmm.
yep. So
I was just gonna ask
getting
that.
into getting into the actual tournament is cheap. It's just hotels. That's the big thing. Travel
Huh.
is travel is the most expensive part.
Wow. I
And
didn't know.
luckily we got some moms on the team who are really good cooks and usually pack enough snacks to feed an army for way longer than we need. So
Yeah.
that helps. And yeah,
Wow.
so
This is great, man. This is an awesome episode. I like hearing about
Yeah,
all.
it is.
yeah, and we usually just find a hotel that's got parking for boats and
Yep.
hang out, go out to eat, make a mess.
These kids,
And
are freaking loving this, right? Like even beyond the fishing, they're loving the travel, the hotel, the going out
oh
to
yeah,
eat. They're loving it, right? Like they're eating it
oh
up.
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll say when we went down to Lake Hartwell for nationals, that was awesome. We raised separate money just for that tournament because we only had, I think, 3 weeks. We won the state championship. They're like, cool, you qualified for nationals. Like, cool, when's that? 3 weeks. We're like, what?
Oh,
Like, okay, how are we going to do this? And so we raised some money for it, and which was awesome. All the families went. We rented a house right on Lake Hartwell, and it
dang.
was one of the funnest trips I ever been on. It was really cool. And without, I've done a lot of cool things in my life, and the fishing stuff with the high school that I get to do, I have so much fun with it myself, and I'm not even fishing. And
Yeah.
you feel like you're doing something good. You're impacting the kids in some way that's a positive way, gets them away from a TV or a cell phone.
Come on.
It's,
Heck yeah.
it's good for everybody. And I
Yeah.
don't like, that's why I try to take a kid fishing whenever I go, even if they're not on the team. I try to take a kid, and
Yeah.
I wish more people would do it.
Daggum. That was well put, dude. I can
Absolutely.
feel the passion and the non-forced actual care of what you're saying it from a place that's not contrived or look at me, like you just care about these kids, you care about fishing, connecting those two. That's beautiful, man.
Yep, and the people that help me with the team, they feel the same way. My right-hand man that helps me with it, I mean, he's in his mid-60s. He's got a really nice Phoenix, and he's been fishing tournaments, BFLs, opens, and stuff. He actually, I don't remember the last time he's fished his own tournament. He's like, I get way more out of doing a high school tournament.
Wow.
You're doing something good. He's like, I get more self-satisfaction from that.
Wow.
So,
What's
Heck yeah.
it's
your partner's name? What's his name?
Bill Schultz.
Bill Schultz. Big shout out to Bill Schultz.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Bill is a good dude. His wife is awesome. They do a lot for our fishing team as well.
That's
We're very thankful for Bill.
yeah, heck yeah. Thanks, Bill. We appreciate it.
Bill is like a 65-year-old kid. He's awesome.
I love that. Got that Peter Pan syndrome, never growing up. I love that very much. And honestly, I think, again, just kind of circling back a little bit, and we'll kind of wrap this up in a sec, but circling back, that's another thing that I've always loved about Ike is people will always say, because, he'll hook a 2-pounder on I don't know, a swim jig. Oh, but, good one, giant. And he gets it in 2 pounds, which isn't a bad fish, but it's not a giant. And people will just dog him. And I'm like, well, forgive him for being pumped after all these years of fishing that when you feel a good tug, you think it's a giant. There's nothing wrong with having like that childlike imagination, that kid-like wonder, even at Ike's age, whatever he is in his late 50s, whatever. I love that. That doesn't bother me. I think it's encouraging. So, if Bill's the same way, that's amazing.
Yeah, my wife, she always likes watching Mike Iaconelli for the same reason. I mean, I hope when I'm that old, I still get that pumped up when I catch a fish. I don't care what
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
It means so I think it's awesome. I love that guy.
There's something about the outdoors. There's something about hunting or fishing or being outside. I think maybe it's because like when you're, no diss whatsoever. I played all sports in high school and whatever, but when you're playing the traditional, ball and stick sports, again, no diss, but like you have a lot more control over what's going on in terms of like making a shot or kicking a field goal or whatever. And that's awesome. It's still satisfying. But with fishing, there's always the element of nature and the unknown, and you don't know if there's something under that dock, or you don't know if you snagged a catfish or if it's just a giant largemouth or whatever. And so you kind of combine all of that like imagination and unsure and whatever with like competitive setting with kids trying to learn. I mean, that's just a recipe for like excitement and you know what I mean? Like just thrill.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I don't get
Yeah.
sick. Even when I'm fishing by myself, even now, you know, we did a episode about a day I had on Labor Day up in Hayward. Oh yeah, I texted you about it. Up in Hayward, you know, I had 20 something pounds of largemouth on a lake I fished a million times, never had a day like that. Super crappy weather. And I'm out there by myself, like, yeah, baby. Like when I hook a 5-pounder, I'm like cheering and hooping and hollering and putting in the live well and getting all. I love that, dude. Like that's it, right? That's the passion that I just don't really think you can get from anything else.
Absolutely. And I'm a sports fanatic. I grew up playing it too. And I don't know, fishing to me does something to somebody or to everybody who does it. It's a humbling, very humbling sport. I would say that you could have the best day of your life and the next day it could suck. But
Yep.
you know what?
Yeah.
You want
for
to
sure.
conquer that crappy day and you go back out and do it again. That to me, that
Yep.
builds a lot of character in somebody.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, I agree. Somebody once said that at least competitive fishing is the most losing sport you can play, you know, because if you win, you know, like if somebody wins on the elite, you know, 1 out of 9 tournaments or something, that's like, holy moly. But you think about that, that means you're winning what, once every like 12% of the time? That's terrible. If you
Kevin KVD was just on Mercer here last week. I think he said it on there. Yeah, he's won money. He's won tournaments, classics, this and that. But if you tally up how many tournaments he's fished versus what he's won,
yeah,
man, the numbers aren't good.
Right.
But you just keep doing it. I mean, he's lost way more than he's won.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And he's the great, you know,
he's the GOAT for sure. Fishing creates a different kind of like resilience. And I don't know. And I think that's probably also something for high school students or whoever to learn at that age, like to overcome the emotion, the disappointment. It's very roller coastery in a really good way that I just don't think you get from other sports. And again, not a diss on them. It's just a different creature.
And I think that's why, you know, a lot of my kids on my team are wrestlers. There's some similarities there, you know. It's wrestling. You can be a stud wrestler, and then you go out one time and you just get your ass handed to you by somebody who's better than you, and you got to learn to accept defeat. And fishing's kind of the same way, except not painful physically, just mentally. So, yeah,
that's really good. Well, Brad, seriously, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. We super appreciate I don't know, I feel super encouraged by the things you're referencing with the high school fishing and the passion that we can see in you. Yeah, you're a good dude, man. I wish you nothing but the best coming up this, whenever we get out of ice, which right now feels like never. But at some gotta happen. And yeah, man, thank you for jumping on Tackling Tacos, dude, for real.
Yeah, I always get people wondering, you know, ask the same question like you did. How do you start a team? You know, you go on social media pages, send a message. It goes directly to me. I'll answer any questions anybody has. I'd be more than happy to help anybody start something. What's worked for us, what hasn't. It's, you know, every state, especially when you get south, the high school fishing is huge. And I feel in the Midwest, especially Wisconsin, it's kind of just stalled out. Everywhere it's getting bigger, but Wisconsin, it just doesn't seem like it. And we're trying. All the organizations are trying. And I think people are just afraid to try to do it because they think it's way harder than what it is. And it really isn't.
Okay. Yeah, that's encouraging.
Yeah, no doubt.
If Regis wants to start something, hey, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help with whatever I can. Because it's worth it.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right, man. Nate, you got any more questions for Brad before we let him go?
No, man, I appreciate it. You killed it for us. Gave us a ton of awesome information. So thank you.
Yeah, and tell your wife
thanks for having me.
For letting you jump on and for, you know, starting the bass bug in you. We appreciate her as well.
Getting it going.
Yeah, it's her fault. Remember that.
Yeah, remember that. All right, we'll let you go. All right, see you, buddy.
Peace.
All right, so that was Brad he was talking about if you wanted to hit him up on socials. If you try and find him, I'll spell it out for you real quick. On YouTube right now, we have a little ticker tape going at the bottom that spells it out. But if you're just listening to the podcast, it is Melrose. That's MELROSE, and then it's dash Mindoro, and Mindoro is MIDO. I spelled it wrong on there. I spelled it Mindodro. on the ticker. I spelled it wrong, but it's Mindoro. It's Mindoro. Anglers, Melrose Mindoro. Let me change this. Nate, say something cool so you can give me some
Get
time.
her get her squared away.
Yeah.
No, Brad killed it. That was awesome of him. To jump on and give us the goods on the high school fishing. Um, I mean, I honestly I never thought it was that simple. I think there's two schools in our area that I can think of that have the high school fishing. I want to say Moline has a high school fishing team, and then one of the Port Byron area schools, maybe
Okay.
um, Rock Ridge or something like that.
Which is right.
Riverdale might be the
Oh,
school.
sure. Yeah, being right on the
Yeah,
river, there'd be more teams
right.
with squad or more schools with squads. But also, I thought it was really interesting what he said. I mean, that was an absolute like paradigm shift type moment for me when he said it doesn't have to be school
School
specific.
related.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
that age. Like that was a real like, oh, I didn't think of that, because I thought it
yeah.
as Regis versus Moline versus Davenport West or wherever, not like
Hmm.
group of kids from this town who all love bass fishing. They have a team called the Bass Whackers or whatever. Like, and
Right.
yeah. So I think that's kind of cool too. You can do it, and I like what he said at the end that if you number one, big shout out to Brad just for being selfless, because as
Yeah.
dad with like 50 kids, even high school age kids, when they go fishing, obviously it's easier than trying to take like a 3-year-old fishing. But when you bring kids with, no matter how much older they are, how much experience they have, you don't get to fish as much. You just don't. And so to like devote a large majority of your time to helping these kids learn how to fish more, knowing that it's going to cost you time fishing, that's a pretty awesome selfless act.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah, the commitment to the kids is huge. And to realize the joy that you're bringing to them over,
Yeah.
like he said, he, him and what was it, Bill was
Bill,
the other one?
Bill,
Bill, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, getting the realizing or thinking that, hey, me doing this, taking my time out to spend it with these kids is actually more enjoying than
Yeah.
going out and fishing a derby, by myself or whatever. So
Yeah. Hey, like when you're in the boat with somebody, especially if it's a kid or it's your wife or it's last summer we had some friends of ours, Lola and I, our friends Nolan and Hannah, who came over from Israel, and we took their little boys out fishing on Lake Ogali, which is, I shouldn't even say that out loud, that's a really slept on, really good local lake. Anyway, lake something, and their boys were catching them. They were catching them wacky rigging, which, by the way, is just a super easy, rig to put in a kid's hands. You could throw it on a
yeah,
weed hook or whatever, so it's they're not getting snagged. And seeing the joy on their faces, from daggum Israel catching bass in central Wisconsin, like that was so cool. So you take that and sort of multiply it, like we were talking earlier, like in the context of competitive fishing, dude. That's awesome. That's a pretty rad thing.
yeah, no doubt. That's awesome for sure. It's one of the things that I really love too is just taking, new people fishing, people that aren't as
Yeah,
experienced or, don't know the ins and outs of a boat or a bait caster or, bass fishing in general. Getting them out, getting them fishing is always a lot of fun. So I can imagine this high school thing being a blast.
yeah. And I like the idea of, I don't know if I asked Chat GPT or if I just looked it up the other day or something, but I asked like this idea of like of kids who play football in like 8th grade or high school, like what percentage of those will make it to the pros? And it's like 0.0025%. It's this
Yeah.
minuscule teeny number. Excuse me. And I think with this, it's not that dissimilar because you're taking kids who like to fish, and then you're introducing competitive fishing, and then high school fishing, and now college fishing, and then like an opens or like some kind of qualifying BFL something, and then the elites or the Bass Pro Tour or the NPFL or whatever. But I think it's kind of neat that bass fishing is starting to sort of mimic the big boys in professional sports in terms of like there's all these on ramps, but each one is a little bit harder as you go up the chain. And I think high school is such an awesome I don't know what you want to call it. I was gonna say like fertilizer or something. Like, cause it's like helping
Yeah.
these grow in such a potent way at such a really formative time in their life. I don't think they're gonna make any posters that say high school bass fishing is the fishing fertilizer, but you know what I mean? Like growth in these kids at such a pivotal, like, you know, like I said, formative moment in their lives. And yeah, shout out to Brad for doing that. So one last time, now that it's actually on the screen spelled properly, Melrose Mindoro Anglers. That's Melrose, and then dash, and then Mindoro is Mindoro Anglers. So like he said, if you are looking at doing a high school or a youth fishing thing and you need some ideas or you want to know how to start it, whatever, hit him up on there on Facebook and Instagram. And Brad said all those messages will go directly to him. So before we close it out, we do have to take care of some sponsorship business, and what an honor to have the sponsors that we do have. Grizzly
Yeah.
They've been the presenting sponsor for Tackle and Tacos since we started. Since we very first started this, and 3 people would watch our show, and now we have 5 people watching, which is great. Grizzly's been, killing it for a long time. I'm proud to be a part of their squad because everything they put out is super quality, from the mugs to the coolers, the hats, the merch, the deer blinds, the coffee mugs, all of it. It's really well built. It's smart. It's like this mug or this water jug that I have here with the Tackle and Taco sticker on it. I have beat this thing up every way that you can imagine, and it works perfectly. It looks like it's brand new. WCB at checkout. W Whiskey Charlie Bravo. WCB will get you 15% off. Of course, the homies at Giltek, Gilltek, and Hook and Arrow Supply Co., makers of some of the absolute best stuff out there in terms of swim jigs, terminal tackle, the split back swimmer boot tail swim bait is my favorite. Again, I'm not just saying this because it's a sponsor. My favorite boot tail swim bait I've ever thrown. Favorite one by far. Everything about it tracks super straight, has a super limp tail, so it just kicks around even at slow speeds. Awesome. Look them up. It's awesome. Loophole Optics, like Nate's hat there. We are so pumped to be a part of the Loophole Optics polarized sunglasses team. These are good people, been doing optics out west in Oregon for literally over 100 years. So if they've been killing it in every other game, like scopes and all that for 10 centuries, then when they start making sunglasses, they're going to be good. And they are not good. They are great. They are awesome. They're perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. The polarization, the comfort, the style, the colors, they're just freaking dope. My favorites by far right now are the tortoise shell Becknaras with a blue mirror lens. They're comfy. They look dope. When I put them on, Lola gives me all the kisses, and that's really all I need. That's my thing. And then, of course, our buddy Moldy's Marine, Jeremy Moldrum, veteran-owned business that does mobile, meaning come to you, detailing and repair, winterizing, electrical stuff. The other thing he can do is like our buddy Miles Berghoff, sonar got gator step over the carpet in his boat. Jeremy Moldrum can do that for you as well. He comes out and gets these crazy laser measurements with these little tabs to kind of show exactly where the carpet should or where the foam stuff should start and stop and whatever. And then it leaves like this little gap around the outside, so the carpet shows through just on the outside of it, and it looks incredible. When I first heard about it
looks awesome.
I thought it would look crappy. It looks dope, and you can customize colors. You can put logos in your boat brand, or if you have a podcast where you talk about tacos. We forgot to talk to Brad about tacos. What the heck is wrong with us? But Oldies Marine, awesome. And then, of course, we're on Waypoint, the network, Working Class Bowhunter Podcast Network, and then YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. What's our handle? Nate, give it to us. I need a drink of water.
It is all Tackle and Tacos, AND, Tackle and Tacos, Instagram, Facebook, and the YouTube.
That's it. Let's get out of here. What a great episode. I'm pumped. We finally got one.
Heck yeah, it was fun. Yeah, awesome one. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. And remember, positivity is worth the effort. Peace.
Catch you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.